gorgeous people, and welcome back to My Life in Heels, the show where we celebrate authenticity, confidence, and of course, fabulous footwear. I'm your host, Tiffany Scott, and as a proud trans woman myself, I love having these real heartfelt conversations with incredible women living life on their own terms. Today, I'm joined on the sofa by the beautiful and inspiring Clair Hughes, and I can't wait to dive into her story. So, hi Claire, and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
When I first started on my journey, I was on a website called TV Chicks, and I came across Claire's profile, and I absolutely adored the pictures. And to be honest, she was an early inspiration for me. So thank you.
You're welcome, yeah.
Anyway, let's rewind a little bit. What was life like for you growing up?
Right.
What was a young Claire like?
Young Claire, when I was growing up, I was mainly not a loner, but I was quite happy in my own company. So I'd go fishing and do this, that and the other, but team sports like rugby, football, no.
Not for you.
Didn't do anything for me. And it was there because I'd always had a pair of knickers around in bits and pieces, but very, very limited. Where I grew up in North Wales, the job opportunities weren't good, and I always liked travel. So I thought, right, I'm going to go in the Navy. But that didn't work out because the recruiters were rude. So I went in the Air Force. The recruiters there were great. And I went in the Air Force, and anything to do with, always had a pair of knickers around. But in those days in the military, anything to do with gay or transgender was a no. So I kept a lot to myself.
It was illegal till
it was,
quite recent.
It was, yeah, and you get discharged if they found out about it.
Yeah.
So you kept it under wraps. I was in Germany, Malta, Gibraltar, Portugal, Spain, Denmark, and all those places. And I landed up coming back to the UK to RAF Stafford. And then I did get married, and that didn't work out.
Did you know that you were kind of different when you were married, or presumably because you were wearing knickers and that was that?
Yeah. So the male side was always there, but in those days I was more to chasing women around. I really kept the male persona going because I engrossed myself in work and tried to suppress everything. Not so much that I didn't like it, I just suppressed it because I thought, well, I'll get on with my life. Yeah. And that marriage didn't work. So then jobs came up in Saudi Arabia, and I was current on the equipment, so I got snapped up. So it was a guy job. So I just got on with it. And then I went out to Thailand, and then I met up all the bar girls and all the other stuff. And one night I landed up with a transgender girl, which is a bit of a shock. When you put your hand...
Did you realise? Or...
No, I didn't, no. When you put your hand down there, it's like, whoop! And then I went back on to...
Didn't freak you out that you were kind of...
Not really, no. And that was okay. And then I carried on with the normal girls after that. Basically, all my life was just work, vacation, work. It was there, but I always kept it down. I always had a few bits around, but it never took over my life, and I just carried on as a normal guy, basically.
So when did you first come across the term transgender, and when did you first think it applied to you?
Now, the first thing I did was took a couple of pictures, and I found TV Chicks website. The whole thing opened up after that, because I could go on TV Chicks, and I was looking around, look at them. And I look at myself and think, oh my goodness, I need some work done. So TV Chicks was my first forum into finding out about transgenderism. I used to come into London. I'd have a night or two in London. And in those days, there was no internet. But you used to get these booklets in the bookshops.
Yeah.
I'd get one of those booklets and I'd look at these people and wow, look at them. And then there was a hotel in London that I always wanted to stay at, and I never did. It was called the Phil Beach.
I remember in the
Phil Beach Gardens.
On, I think there's a site called Birch Place.
That's it.
At the time, it's a lot more commercialised now.
Yes.
But at the time was for transgender people meeting.
Yep.
And they always used to go on about it. And I remember somebody posted a picture, and it must have been a picture of a Hilton or something, saying how it was a brilliant hotel. And I thought, oh, well, that looks really nice.
Yeah.
But apparently that wasn't
it? No,
it was quite
no.
run down.
And then when I was going to go to the Phil Beach, I was all geared up for it, and they shut the place. So that was that.
So this would have been quite a jump from you being a kid in Wales to...
Yeah.
But this would have been years, this would have been quite a jump.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And then I really didn't get into the transgender scene other than buying a pair of shoes and some PVC outfits. That was what I liked. And then
then you went to Australia.
I got married to a girl in Saudi, but she was Australian. And then when I finished in Saudi, when I retired, when I was 64, because I retired slightly before my retirement date, I was in the house on my own. At that time, we had internet, and that's when I went on TV Chicks. Then I got a dress and a few bits and pieces. So it wasn't until really late in life that I actually took off, because prior to that, I was all work orientated, and where I was working, all those things were a no-no.
It was kind of a gradual thing that happened late in life.
Yes.
But it was your makeover that was your lightning bolt moment?
Absolutely. I was in Gold Coast in Australia, and I found this makeover studio. Like a lot of us, when you're taking that big step for a makeover, you want to, should I or shouldn't I? So I drove around the block a few times, and I went, should I or shouldn't I? Oh, I don't know. Yep, I'm going to do it. And RP answered the door, all dressed up, looking absolutely immaculate, saying, hi, come in.
So she was transgender?
She was transgender. So then I sat down and I had the makeover. And by that time, I was 65. And like I said before, I looked in the mirror. There you are. I knew I was there somewhere, but I wanted somebody to bring it out. If I was working in the UK and not working in Saudi Arabia, I would have most probably come out a lot earlier. Because I was in Australia, I had a few bits of clothing. I didn't want the other half to know about it. I rented a storage facility. You go and buy things, and the storage facility was small, and it wasn't big enough.
Yeah, I think we've all been there.
So then I had to get a bigger storage facility. Now, prior to that, while I was working in Saudi, like all of us, I had a purge.
You hear loads of girls that say, I had a purge, I've got rid of all my stuff and that, and I never ever have.
No.
I'm a bit of a hoarder to start with.
I think what it is, it's the rejection. It's your inner self going, no, you shouldn't do this, because the way you've been brought up. No, it's not the way to do it. So you get rid of everything and it creeps back in again. Then I got my storage, had my makeovers, got more storage. Then I started going out dressed up.
So how did you do that? Did you go out on your own to a club, or did you have a friend, or did you go out with this harpy?
Then I went on to Buy Australia. It was a site in Australia called Buy Australia. It was Buy and Trans. Then I got to know a few people there, and one of the guys was Richard. I used to see him regular. He was great. So I used to see Richard regular. Nice guy, got on well, really pleasant. I went to a couple of clubs there, and then the relationship in Australia collapsed, and my mum was not well at home. And I thought, well, I'm not staying in Oz. I could have, but mum was not well, so I came back home to look after mum.
So was that the start of
that was
your
the start
authentic
of it?
Kind
yes,
of Clair
because then I'd already been on the Makeover studio, and I knew what it was all about. And really, it wasn't until I retired. I kept it all suppressed and kept it all quiet while I was working.
When you got back to the UK, who was the kind of first person that you told or you confided in?
In the UK, there was a group run by Jenny Ann Bishop, who was the North Wales and West Cheshire transgender group chairperson. And quite a large group, so I joined them. And they had a few functions at Llandudno in some of the hotels. I thought, right, I can get out in the femme mode with fellow trans people without any hassle or ridicule. So really, I didn't really get into the transgender thing properly until I retired at 65.
So it's quite late in life,
very,
really, yeah.
But because where I was working, it was very restrictive because I was working in Saudi Arabia, so
you didn't have a lot of options.
No, so you had to keep it down, and that's why I immersed myself in work.
So when you were in Rill and that, and you were starting to get out and about, did you have any particular role models that you looked at, or was it
yes,
people
it was,
that you actually met?
It was the people I met who were on TV Chicks and also on the unique group in North Wales that I got to know. So some of the people there were like, wow, look at her. And then other ones on TV Chicks I looked at and I thought, wow, this is the way to go. And that's what really TV Chicks was the one that brought me out properly, because then I went for a photo shoot in the UK, and then I put pictures on Chicks, and then it all started to go from there. So I was really a late starter, and it wasn't until I was retired that I thought, right, no wife or anything, just mum, that was fine. So...
Had you come out to your mum at that time?
No, I hadn't come out to mum at all, or anybody, family. I had no kids, and I also had no brothers and sisters. There was nobody to confide in. The only people I can confide in was the Unique group in North Wales, or confide with people online on TV Chicks.
Yeah.
So those two actually brought...
One of the things I was going to ask was, how did you kind of come out, and was it online? And it's very much part of your journey, isn't it?
Yes, it was online, and also with the Unique group, because they would have meetings twice a month, or sometimes every week.
What did the meetings consist of? Was it like a social thing?
Yes, it was a social thing. It was in
it wasn't trans politics or anything?
No, it was in the Royal Hotel in Llandudno. And you went there, the bar was on the go, there was all of the trans people, social do, and also discussing things of transgender things. So it was more of a social outlet. So I had the Unique group, which was a social outlet, and also TV Chicks, which was the broader thing.
So it was like the WI for trans people, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, it was okay. I carried on for that, and then of course then I got more clothing, and you get a bit more daring. And then I started to go to places to get out of the car and then go for a walk. And of course, I was in a hotel dressed up, and I was on TV Chicks talking to somebody who was a bit of a dom. And they said, I dare you to go out into the lobby of the hotel dressed. And I thought, I'm not going to do that. And then I did. And then I went into the lobby, walked out around the hotel, came back in again, back in the lift, back to the room. It's like, whew, wow, I did it.
It's amazing. Sometimes you need a kind of a push.
And it's also to do with your physical build. If you're quite a big person, you're going to stand out. I'm not too big. I'm just under 5'8". So I'm not too big. So I'm quite lucky. I don't stand out. I went down to Eastbourne, so I went down as Clair, trans living.
I don't know any of these.
Right, now, trans living is out of Basildon in Essex, and they have trans living weekends in Eastbourne and Bournemouth, where you can go in the hotel, dress 24/7, and be who you want to be.
My sort of journey was a bit different. I went to a club here.
Yes.
Then I went out into Newcastle. This guy took me out. He rang me out the blue and said, I understand you've been going to T-Birds and you want to get out. I'd like to help you.
Yeah.
It seemed a bit strange, but we went out for a drink. It was nice. Then I had a girls' night out in Newcastle, and then I went to Leeds First Friday.
Yes.
And that was kind of my journey. I didn't have any sort of organised groups.
Yeah.
I don't even think they are any up here, to be honest.
Maybe not, no. What got me was I was fine to go downtown shopping. Didn't bother me. But the others said, are you going downtown like that? I said, yeah, why not? I said, I've got a pair of leggings on, a top. And I said, I'll just go down, do a bit of shopping and come back. Oh, well, we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't even go out of the hotel.
Some people used to go to Leeds First Friday and literally never leave the Cosmo.
And that's it. There again, I don't decry those. Now, there's another lot in Manchester. They go to a bar upstairs and get dressed and sit in there and look out. I said, I'm not going to do that. I want to get out and about.
First of all, you can do what you want. You live your life your way, and if it works for you, do it. I think if you're local, like going to a local bar or a pub or something,
yes,
is quite intimidating.
Yes.
But if you go to Canal Street, where there's loads of T-girls, or you go to Leeds First Friday, where there's loads of T-girls, you mix in. And I remember my first visit to Leeds, I remember my friend saying, are you nervous? And I was like, no, I'm just excited.
That's right, yeah.
I've got my outfit sorted, I was comfortable with what I was wearing. And then we went downstairs, and as you come out the lift, you could hear the chatter in the bar.
Yeah.
And you walked in, and it was just full of T-girls. Mm. And there's obviously a range of girls. So, to be quite honest, you had the odd prop forward in a dress. And then you had some stunning looking girls.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you just kind of fit in.
Yeah.
So, there was a place for everybody, and that's what I really liked about Leeds.
The Cosmo was great because everybody was in the bar and you just blended in and got on with it. It was the best one I've been to. Yeah. It really was good.
I was there one Christmas, and somebody had obviously booked the ballroom for a Christmas do.
Ah, yes.
And all these people were walking in to go to this
Yeah.
Christmas party.
Yeah.
And of course, all these TVs were in the bar.
Yeah.
So you got some
I
funny
think I was there that time.
Yeah,
I think I was there.
It was a great place to go.
Oh, fabulous.
People would meet there beforehand. Afterwards, people would go back for a drink, and it was chatting that. And you met loads of people there.
Now, going back to when I was starting out, went to my storage facility in North Wales, and I got changed in there. It was a 10-foot container, and I had it all carpeted, a wardrobe, zip-up wardrobes.
Did you have like a makeup setup too?
Yeah. So I'd go into my storage container, park my car outside, get all made up, shut the storage container and drive off. I thought, right, how do I do this? I'm going to go to London dressed up on the train. I thought, right, so I had like a business suit. I was a bit nervous about travelling economy, so I bought a first-class ticket. And I thought, well, there's...
You're going to do it, you might as well do it right.
Well, not only that, because if you're in first class, you maybe have somebody sat right next to you. Sorry, economy. You might have somebody right next to you or somebody right opposite you. Now, in first class, you've got a bit of space because there just wasn't that many people.
In first class.
So you could distance yourself from people. I thought, I'll go that way. Then I came back on the train to Crewe.
What was that like going out shopping? Because
it was okay.
I'm not a shopper. I like going out for a drink.
Yeah.
I've kind of got no interest.
It was fine. It was okay. And because London was so busy, people weren't looking at you because they were busy doing what...
in general,
yeah. I got back on the train, came back to Crewe, and I sat back in the car. And I went, yes, I did it. Femme all the way.
So, obviously that was like kind of a step on the journey.
It was indeed.
At what point did you start to think about transitioning?
And I was dressing more and more, and I was on hormones anyhow, on estrogen. And I was on 2 milligrams a day, and of course these things start to grow. And then as you go on, you do change with the estrogen.
So what happened at home then? Because were you living with you?
I was living with my mum.
Did she notice the changes?
No, because I had shirts on and such, like she never noticed. Because of the unique group in North Wales, there was transgender people there who were going for the operation and on hormones, and there was like a support group there. You could ask people things and they'd give you information. There's other people who'd had the operation, other ones who were on the way, other ones who had the boobs growing. So it was a unique group in North Wales, which was a big help as well. And that was local.
Did you always feel inside that you were female?
I knew there was something there different, for sure, because the other guys were off playing football and doing this, that and the other, and I was quite happy doing my own thing.
We all have a different trans journey, and people are on different stages of that journey.
Yeah.
But it's quite a decision to decide you're going to transition.
Yeah.
Can you remember was it just a gradual thing that you kind of grew into?
Yeah,
or was there a point where you thought, right, I'm going to do this?
The big turning point was that Makeover in Australia. Then from there it just went gradual. And then I was getting dressed up in ritzy outfits, and there was a club in Northwich in Chester.
Sauna.
North sauna, yeah, I went there. Of course, I had this.
I've heard of that.
I had this PVC outfit on, suspenders, killer heels, long blonde hair, makeup looking good. And I walked in there, my goodness me. The guys were like flies around a honeypot. You had all this attention. I thought, wow.
It is mad, isn't it? Because you do get a lot more attention.
And then as I carried on, I was on hormones and such like, and my friends on the unique group in North Wales had gone for the gender operation or going for it. Jenny Ann Bishop had already done it. And then they said, are you thinking of doing it? I said, well, I don't know really. I said, well, I think I'll start it. And that way I can get the hormones on the NHS. So I went down that route.
What was the time scale of that then?
From when I came back from Australia, which was 2013.
When you had that conversation with the group,
yes,
and you said you'd start it,
yes.
When was that?
2013, when I came back from Australia.
Oh, so it was pretty much straight away.
Yeah, and then I was on hormones in Australia. I was buying them myself. The unique group, they said, are you on hormones? I said, yeah, I'm buying them myself. They said, you shouldn't do that. Go through your GP and get registered as transgender and start that way. So it was through the unique group that guided me on the route.
Having access to the proper information. Really,
yes, very much. Jenny Ann Bishop was awarded an OBE for her work done on the transgender.
Yeah. You wonder if that would happen now with the current climate.
Maybe not, no, but then it did.
Yeah.
And then...
I think you do need It's probably something that I could do where, you know, if you manage to pull all this information together
Yes,
for people.
yeah.
Because you were obviously lucky in a way that you met this group, but there's other people out there who really want to move forward but don't know how to go.
Yeah, they need to get into a transgender support group locally. And then they said, well, go and see a GP and tell them you got gender dysphoria and go from there, which I did. By that time, I changed my name on deed poll.
So when you did that, what were the sort of challenges you faced doing that, or did you not really?
The biggest one was Mum. I kept it away from Mum because she wouldn't have liked it. Mum had her bungalow and I was living there. But I'd also bought my own bungalow, and everything to do with Claire was there. Nothing at Mum's house.
Yeah.
So I kept it separate.
When did you have your surgery? Because it was before lockdown.
Yes, it was. It was 2019.
So
April.
really, it was like 6 years from you coming back.
Yes.
To having surgery.
Yes. So then you had to register with the GP that you had gender dysphoria. You had to have an interview with the psychiatrist. And the psychiatrist called me in and went into the office. Okay, he said, well, you're on the journey from male to female. I said, yeah. I said, I'm on hormones. I said, they're doing all right. And I think I really want to go and do the whole lot if I can. He kept on firing a few questions. Well, do you dress all the time? I said, yeah. I said, I'm like this all the time. But I said, I do go back into male mode when I go and visit Mum because she was 96. And I thought it was too much to rock the boat. I had a chat to the psychiatrist and then they referred me to London. You have an interview, numerous interviews, about your transgenderism and what you're doing.
Have you other friends that have transgendered?
Yes, they're all members of the unique group.
Has it all been a positive experience for them, or have some of them found it hard?
Most of them pretty positive. Some of them are shy about it, reserved or not open. They feel guilt. But I never did. I was always open about it.
Do you think it helped that the fact you didn't have any family?
Big time. If I was married and I had kids, I wouldn't do it. I would put family first.
Obviously, well, we'll both know lots of girls that dress and are married.
Yes.
And have families, and they do it in secret.
Yes.
And we'll also know some people who are married and their wives support them.
Yes.
And, you know, they do it together. It's just kind of whatever works for you.
It's the most difficult lifestyle you could ever wish for.
Yeah.
If you're...
You've got to be really 100% sure, haven't you?
If you're gay, you get away with it. If you're lesbian and you dress a bit butch, you get away with it. If you're transgender, it's difficult.
I know your sort of journey is kind of quite recent, but in the last couple of years especially, there seems to be a change in attitudes towards transgender people.
Oh, yes.
I honestly think most people have never ever met a transgender person.
Yeah.
But there's still people online who are happy to call them and...
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, one of the girls I met, Courtney, she's not transgender, she's a drag artist, but she looks absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
And she did a Jack and Ori story,
right.
And some senator in Australia was complaining and more or less suggesting she was trying to groom kids.
Yeah.
You know, and it was totally ridiculous. I mean, there's one thing for sure. I know who's not in the Epstein files. It's not transgender people.
No, that's for sure.
And obviously women have concerns. It's not a black and white argument. There's grey areas all over the place.
It is.
But people just need to let people get on with their lives.
It do.
As long as you respect each other.
Yeah.
So what's your favourite thing about your transition, if you had to pick one thing that you think, this is what I love about it?
Getting glammed up and also actually travelling as me. I came back and I got to know the people on the unique group in North Wales. And then some of them there, they said, do you want to go to Gay Pride in Gran Canaria? Oh, I said, that sounds fun. It was the first time I sat on the aircraft, put a seatbelt on, then I looked down at my hands, I saw the red nails, and I said to myself, the overhead lockers, the aircraft surround is exactly the same as I'd travelled for many years on aeroplanes. I said, this is the first time I've ever travelled en femme with red nails on an aircraft. And it was like, wow.
It's funny little things.
Yep.
I was at a club once. The lockers were quite small, so you had quite a big bag. And the guy who ran it, who owned it, he said, oh, you can put your bag behind the bar. So when I came out, he offered to carry my bag for us.
Yeah.
And it was such a kind of sweet thing, and I was thinking, you know.
Yeah.
And it's little things like that that are kind of big wins in a way.
Yeah.
What would you say, if you had to pick one thing that was the hardest thing about your transition, what would you say that was?
I don't think there was one, really.
So you were 100% committed you
Yeah,
were doing it.
I was okay with it.
I think it's sad in a way that you're judged, transition or your transgenderism is quite often judged on how you look. So if you look nice and you look kind of convincing,
Yes.
well, that's fine.
That's fine.
But, you know, if you still look a bit blokey, then we're not happy with that. And it shouldn't be, because it's about the person within.
No, unfortunately it is. And I go back to the same thing. It's the most difficult lifestyle you can ever wish to have.
In a way, if you've got kids, you were kind of gaining your authentic self.
Yes.
But they're losing a parent.
Absolutely.
It's a difficult thing if you're in a relationship, if you're married. It's a lot easier, you know.
God, yeah. I mean,
obviously you're not single because you've got a partner, but, you know, we were sort of single so we can do what we want. So anyway, the podcast called My Life in Heels. We've got to talk about style and fashion. So how has your fashion style developed over the years?
Well, I started off with tarty stuff, and then I landed up being smart casual. Most of my clothing now is sort of quite classy looking dresses and smart casual things, but I've got very little risque stuff. I've tended to move more to like general living. Most days I would just put on a pair of leggings and a top like this, or maybe a sweatshirt, and just get on with life.
So when you started, you were very much into a wilder style?
Oh yeah, it was like something raunchy. When you look at a female in raunchy gear, you think, God, look at her, wow. And then you say, well, I can dress like that and do it.
When I first started, I couldn't get my head around putting things together. I hadn't a clue what to buy.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And I was never really into fetish stuff as such.
No.
But I kind of wanted to dress like a smart woman in her 40s.
Yeah.
I've seen girls go out in Leeds and literally you can see the stop and tops. I always say it's up to you what you wear, and, you know, but I just think not on a night out.
No, but that's something that they want to wear because it's like
attention seeking,
or what they would perceive, if they had the ideal partner, would dress the way that they're dressing.
I think that's a good point, because I kind of dress the way I would like somebody to dress. But I like the nice dresses. I've got some short dresses, but, you know, something just above the knee. A lot of the time when I do these videos, I'm bare leg, but I do wear stockings.
Are those bare legs, are they?
Yeah, it's false tan legs.
Right.
If you're with a guy and he's just got his hand on your hip or something and he feels a suspender strap, I just think it's...
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's nice where if you're too obvious...
And also it gives transgender people a bad name.
It gives everybody... I mean, there's some women dressed badly. Do you remember your first pair of heels?
Oh, yeah.
You still got them?
I've got similar. They were court shoes, black patent court shoes.
If there's someone listening who's maybe just starting on their journey, what sort of advice would you give them?
Well, it depends on the circumstances.
Say somebody who's similar circumstances to you, that I suppose this is the best case scenario. You don't have kids, you haven't got family, you've decided to go on this journey, what would you say to them?
Go for it. If people have wanted to transition and they want to go for the operation and everything with the boobs, do it. But you've really got to think about what you're doing, that there's no going back from it.
And you need a bit of a support network somewhere along the line, whether it's a group that you do. What was it like waking up? And
fine. I had a cup of coffee and a bowl of soup.
There was no like, oh God, it's gone. Or,
No. And other people said to me, they said, when you recovered after the operation, did you have a sense of euphoria that you were feeling fantastic? I said, no. I just woke up and went, oh, well, that's done.
Kind of matter of fact.
Yeah, that's done, okay. Nurse came over and said, you all right? I said, yeah, fine. The only thing I would say now is that my tight leggings fit better.
So what's next for Claire then?
Lose a bit of weight.
So you've got no aspirations or desires to do anything different, or are you quite content?
Quite content, really. I was thinking of having a boob job, but no, I'll just leave them as they are. And very much carry on as I am, really. I've gone as far as I can.
Well, thank you for sharing your story.
You're welcome.
It's been interesting. I've learnt a lot.
Yeah.
And to everybody listening, thank you for joining us on My Life in Heels. If you love today's episode, make sure you subscribe and share it with somebody who needs a little bit of inspiration today. And until next time, Keep strutting, keep shining, and remember, life's too short, but heels shouldn't be.